Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 21st. It is 6:20 right now. Market's gonna open in about 10 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. Just got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, looks good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Should be good to go. All right, looks good. All right, so as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking up liquidity over here. There, there, there. Oops. All right, going down to the 8-hour time frame. Going down to the 4-hour time frame. Going down to the 2-hour time frame. Down to the 1-hour time frame. Down to the 30-minute time frame. Down to the 15-minute. Down to the 10-minute. And it looks like we're good to go. So, all right, guys. Good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 21st. It is 6:23 right now. Market's going to open in about 7 minutes. I've marked up liquidity over here. So the closest level of liquidity is going to be down below over here at 40,044. And then also we have a higher level over here at 40,078. So we're around the 40,000 level right here. Price finally got up to here yesterday with the interest rate news. And, we'll see what happens here when market opens. ATR is currently at 6, so it's pretty decent, just normal right now. It'll probably pick up as we get closer and closer to market open here. So with that said, we have liquidity marked up here. I'm going to go over to the clean chart. Over here at the clean chart, I'm going to mark up 6:30. Mark up 8 o'clock. I'm going to go on the 4-hour time frame. Identify structure up here. We got structure on this top end. Price is currently at this. This is going to be the all-time high. So that's where the 4-hour structure is. And we have more structure down here. I'm going to go over to the 1-hour time frame. We don't really have much else. So price is currently sitting at the all-time high around there. And that's where the 4-hour resistance is right here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up here. Okay, that makes sense now. And I was tripping. So, okay, that makes sense why the text bar is like that now, because you just have to start typing. So, but every time someone tries to join the room, it gets locked out. Okay, that makes sense why that button is like that. I was like wondering why they never fixed the text button, but the text button was never messed up. It was just, you just had to start typing. So this is the 4 hour, every second someone's trying to join. It's all good. Let me try to open this up. The text button just isn't as intuitive as it used to be. All right, so this is the 4 hour resistance level right here. Let's see. Okay, all right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Marked up liquidity over here. Liquidity already got blasted. The first level of liquidity right there got hit. Full TP if whoever anyone caught that pre-market. I've marked up the clean chart over here, 630 to 8. Price is currently in the 4 hour resistance level. This 4 hour resistance is the all-time high. So price breaks out of this structure here. Price will be at a new all-time high. So other than that, let me go over here to our clean chart. We had news over here this morning at 5:30. It was all positive. All the news this morning was positive. So we had news at 5:30, news at 6:45, 7, and 7:30. Okay, so let's start off with 5:30 news over here. So we had news over here at 5:30, which is this big candle right here, I'm assuming, one of these big candles. This one right here, fake out candle. And then we have more news over here at 6:45, 7, 7:30. Okay, so 6:45. A lot of news today. 7. And of course, 7:30. So we got news right there. Here's the PRB chart. I mean, the only one that's really necessary here is going to be the 6:45 because the entry has to come up by 7. Also over here on our BV3 chart, not that it's going to matter too much, but I'm going to put it here anyways, just so that we're aware. I'm still going to take the trade even if it comes up around news time. All right, so we got news at 6:45. It's high impact S&P Global Services PMI. It's inflation news and manufacturing PMI. Then at 7 o'clock, we have existing home sales, also high impact. And then at 7:30, we have the gas stock change. So, all right, guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Thursday, March 21st. It's 6:27 right now. Market's going to open shortly in about 2 minutes. We had the first level of liquidity here got hit already pre-market. So if anybody caught that, looks like some people here in the group caught it. Whoever got in here early. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Shannon. Morning, Sadie. Morning, Nick. Morning, Daniel, Maria, Maddie, Ryan. Happy Thursday, Hawk. Maddie got the liquidity. Looks like Sadie got the liquidity. Morning, William. Morning, James. Morning, Jeff. Morning, Jake. Morning, everybody. Morning, Sisuk. All right, guys. So it looks like majority of you guys are here so far. We marked up pretty much everything. Market's going to open in about 2 minutes. So again, we have liquidity here that just got hit. That's the first level of liquidity right there. There's a higher level up here. I think this higher level is basically going to be like the all-time high. And we'll see the volatility is picking up. ATR is now at 8, so it's starting to pick up a little bit. It's not super crazy yet, but it's likely to make some push as market opens here in the next minute or so. So we got everything marked up. BV3 over here. There's no double bodies on either side, so there's nothing there to really look at this very moment. Looking over here at the PRB. PRB might be for a buy today. We do have price above the pivots. The trend here is bullish, so for the PRB, might be looking for a buy here, but I mean, who knows? Price can easily shift at any moment, right? So we'll keep looking here. And of course, here is our main chart. There's no red flags around the area aside from news price right here. Other than that, I mean, we're pretty much... The Asia high is pretty much going to be the all-time high. And we'll see what happens when the market opens here. So, all right, guys, market is opening in about 15 seconds. So we'll see what happens here shortly, and then we'll take it from there. So market is opening in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Market is now open, guys. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to mark up opening price. color that blue first. Huge dump right here. No surprise. I mean, that was expected, right? Price was at the 4-hour resistance, also known as the all-time high price point. So no surprise there. I'm gonna let the trade breathe a little bit, of course. Market new structure as price continues to kind of move around a bit. ATR is at 13, so it's not super duper high yet, but it is getting there. So of course we will continue to watch it here as price continues to move along. But yeah, guys, we'll see price went down, knocked out through all the liquidity down here. So if you guys saw the liquidity right here, I marked this up from earlier this morning, full TP on that lower liquidity. Next level down below over here as well. I'm not sure if it hit, but it looks like it probably did. Not quite. All right, so we're just getting a big back and forth whipsaw movement here, which is pretty normal, especially on a heavy news day like this. But again, there's nothing here to take. There's no double bodies, there's no double wicks, so there's no breakout V3 setting up anytime soon. We're kind of just waiting here for the setup to appear. Looking over here at the PRB chart, there's no confirmation of trend yet, so there's no PRB that's going to be setting up anytime soon yet either, unless price swings right back up. If it swings right back up, we'll go back into a bullish trend, and then it can possibly start setting up for a PRB. CNBC just posted an update. Thanks, Nick, for that. So CNBC just posted an update here. It did stocks rise as Wall Street builds on record setting run. Yeah, I mean, they posted that right there on market open. What happened? Market dumped, and then it corrected right back up. No surprise. Pretty much what we expected for the most part. Looking over here at retail sentiment is currently 83% short. This indicates that 83% of retail traders are currently selling right now. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. So for me personally, of course, I would like to take a buy here. I don't necessarily have to take a buy, but that's kind of what I would hope for if our entry does come up for the breakout V3. So again, the trend here is starting to push back up. So if this is the case, this might start setting up for a buy entry here for the PRB. I'll keep looking for the PRB, but there's no entry here yet. If price ends up closing up here, which it looks like it will, we'll see if price swings back down, retraces off one of the pivots, and then it comes right back up. That's what we'll be looking for there. So there's no rejection here yet. That's going to be the first step. From there, we're going to move forward and look for the BV3, but there's no double body, double wick. So again, we just got to sit tight. Again, right here, no double body, no double wick. So we're still waiting. PRB, if you're looking for the PRB, you're going to look for price to come back down a little bit, reject off the pivots, come back up, consolidate, come back down, come back up. And that's where the entry would be for the PRB. But again, nothing here yet. And we're not going to predict. We're just going to sit tight and wait for confirmations here. There's no confirmations, there's no confluences, so we just got to sit tight and wait. This right here would be a pivot scalp entry, guys. Pivot scalp and momentum scalp, it looks like. So if anybody decided to take that there, however, it was at a red flag, which is the Asia high right here. So a little bit of a tricky area. We're now at an all-time high. So price broke through the structure here that I mentioned earlier, and we're now at a new all-time high. All right, so we got the volatility that we asked for yesterday. It's no longer a dead market like it was yesterday and the day before that. Back into high volatility. All right, so we're just going to keep waiting for any opportunities here to come up. Still nothing here. Main focus would be the double body, double wick, which has not come up yet. Yeah, Maddie said he wants a fake out drop, lure in sellers, and buy back up. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for too, Maddie. So I'll price to establish some sort of high here. Come back down, fake out, give us that double body, swing right back up. Got news over here in 10 minutes, 6:45. High impact news, ISM manufacturing, ISM services, I believe, or let me check. It's inflation news, regardless of the fact it's inflation news, whether it be ISM, PMI. Okay, same thing. PMI, ISM, same thing. They're all inflation news. So we got that coming up soon. Yeah, look at this thing blast right through. All right, so we got price climbing right here. We have a double wick, double body, possibly setting up right here. Yeah, so it looks like a lot of the sellers here probably got wiped out already. They might drop it down a little bit to lure in some more sellers, hopefully maybe back down to opening price right here. It's enough for us to get 25 points. And we will see what happens here. So if this here closes, this will be the double body, double wick. This could be setting up for a possible sell for the breakout V3, maybe down to open. So we got a double body and a double wick right here. This candle's going to close in about 3 seconds. And we have the double body, double wick there. Okay, so we'll keep looking over here to see if this ends up dropping down further. Probably won't. This high is probably going to get pushed up higher if it pushes up. Again, you guys want to keep in mind that this is the all-time high. So exactly, yeah, Kenny said never sell because it's at the all-time high. Exactly. This thing could just keep pushing up higher. Just because it's at the all-time high doesn't necessarily mean it's going to come right back down. You got to wait for that confirmation. That's why it's good that we're waiting for the sell signal, because the sell signal is going to confirm, okay, this might be the ceiling and it might be coming back down for retracement, right? Don't just enter right away. And right there, you can see the all-time high just got blasted right through. So again, there's no need to sell at all-time highs until you get a confirmation. So the double body, double wick's pretty much invalidated at this point, and price is still climbing up higher. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, right, Kenny? People sell just because it's at the all-time high, and this thing just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing. All right, so there's no entry here yet. PRB, not yet either. There's only one entry or two entries that came up here earlier. If anybody was taking any of those scalps, there was a momentum scalp and a pivot scalp right here. There was also there was a high-low momentum scalp and a pivot scalp and a momentum scalp. So the high-low momentum scalp, because there was a lower low right here, this buy signal broken close past pivots 1 and 2. And that was a high-low momentum scalp. On top of that, this was a pivot scalp because this buy signal was above pivots. And then also this was a regular momentum scalp because the trend meter down below is green and buy signal is here. So this entry right here was basically 3 strategies in one, like a super confluence right there. The only bad thing about this was that it was at the Asia high, which is New York, which was the red flag. And then also this was like the previous all-time high at the time of entry. So there's just that right there. Other than that, there's no other entries here at the moment. Yeah, exactly. Andrea said risky because of these sessions, in his opinion. I agree. Peter said we cannot trade PAs during news, isn't it? I believe so. I don't see any rule there, unless you saw a different rule, Peter. So from my understanding, you can trade during news. They don't care. I know for other funding companies you can't. Like, I think for Top Step, for Take Profit Trader, you can't. But yeah, you could trade news. You could trade whenever you want for Apex. They don't care about news. You just can't be trading a new strategy. Like, you can't only trade news. That's not like some people only trade news. You can't just trade news all the time, but you can trade news whenever news is happening. They don't care. I actually looked up that rule a couple of times because I saw from different prop firms that you couldn't, but for Apex, they're fine with it. Yeah, exactly. So thanks, Nicholas. So Nicholas right there from the FAQs, he said, during the news, trade your normal strategy. We don't allow news trading strategies. Yeah. So it's just, if you're always trading news, then yeah, it's going to stand out because you're like, this guy's making crazy gains or crazy losses, off of news. So you can still do it. Yeah, because they'll see from your data that like you're taking some trades that are like during news, sometimes that aren't. So it'll show up as like your normal strategy, quote unquote. All right, so we're currently at the current all-time high. There's no double body, no double wick. Again, we're just waiting here, per usual, for something to happen. Five minutes till news. Yeah, we're probably gonna have to wait for news to pass. I mean, the thing is, we're gonna have news like right after each other. We got news at 6:45. We had news at 7. So we'll see what happens here. They're forecasted to be negative. Looks like. Yeah, it's forecasted to be negative news. So price might push up and then it might come right back down. But I mean, who knows? We'll see. Yeah, both of the news are forecasted to be negative. So negative forecast here at 6:45, negative forecast here at 7. You got 5 minutes till news. Might get set up over here for a double body or not. Yep, no double body there. And preferably, I'd rather take a buy. Of course, we'll see. Yeah, Daniel said price is pushing off screen. Yeah. All right, so we'll see. There might be a double body right here. About 5 seconds left on this candle. All right, so there goes the double body. This might be the ceiling, but we'll see. It's getting really close to news though. All right. I've got news here in about 3 minutes. I think the volatility will probably just die down here because I think a lot of people are going to wait until after news. And then it's just going to be flat for a bit. And we'll go from there. So the volatility here is starting to die down a little bit. It was at 20, now down to 19. Um, if the volatility goes back to normal, it'll probably drop down to 15. All right, got the news coming up in about 2 minutes. Price is pretty much flat, just like we anticipated. All right, so we got a flat movement here. See what happens here. I'm just hoping you don't get a sell signal like right now. The sell signal is because this thing is going to be, it looks like it's going to be a bigger candle. All right, this is fucking tricky. This is tricky because I don't want this candle to be a sell signal, and then the next candle is going to be obviously the news candle. We have a penny sell signal on this candle right here. Yeah, it's a little tricky. I mean, I'm gonna have to take it regardless of the fact. Well, we'll see. Yeah, the sell signal right here. So we'll see where this ends up pushing to. I don't think it's gonna close. I think the market's gonna stay flat. But if it does close, it's gonna be a little tricky. I mean, it's gonna be tricky if the sell signal comes on this candle or even on the next one, because I don't like taking trades when like the momentum's based off news, right? It's not really it's not a good look. So I'm hoping we get a low here and then price just pushes back up and we get another high. So there'll be no double bodies on either side. So I don't have to worry about it. Okay, here's the news candle right here. Check the news real quick. So we got news right here. Take that on. The PRB is still setting up too. So the PRB is still in process of setting up. It has a rejection right there. PRB might be coming up soon. All right, so let's see. The news was pretty mixed. It was positive and negative. There's no one side to it, so it might get a late reaction. I mean, price might just chill for a bit, and then eventually it'll start to move a little heavier as we get closer and closer to the 7 o'clock news. So it was mixed. I'm not going to draw a structure yet until like, it's been established. Once we have a new high here, I'll draw a structure, but we don't really need structure yet because it's still going back and forth. There's obviously no liquidity here because price is at the all-time high. So the second level of liquidity right there got hit, or third level actually. PRB could be setting up soon. Just a heads up for anybody who's looking to take it. Looks like we're gonna get some consolidation here, maybe until 7 o'clock. It's the same setup as like the past couple days, guys. It's just there's more volatility. So this is kind of more similar to how it was moving on Monday versus yesterday. Yesterday, the market was like super duper slow. ATR was like at 10, it was super slow. There's still movement here. So let's see what happens here with this consolidation. Looks like price might be coming back down further. I mean, I'm fine if price comes back down further. It's just looks like it'll probably be stuck in this area of liquidity or this area of consolidation. Sorry. All right, so we have a new low right here. This could be the breakout V3, guys. So I will be following, not here, but this could be the sell signal that's leading up to the breakout V3. The PRB over here is also setting up. So if this candle right here rejects off the pivot, this will be the PRB entry for a buy, actually. It's not looking like it's going to. There's still 20 seconds left on this candle, so it's got a lot of time. It's a fat candle right there. All right, the candle's about to close. Looks like we're gonna get that sell signal. All right, so if the next candle is red, that's gonna be the entry for the breakout V3. If it's not red, then there's no breakout V3 here yet. It's got a lot of time on the candle, so just sit tight and wait. Looks like the PRB might be a little opposite if it ends up coming down here. So if it rejects off the pivot down here, this is gonna be the PRB entry for a buy. And if it closes green, there's not going to be an entry here at all. Still got 20 seconds, it's a lot of time. You guys got to wait for it to actually close. All right, we got a couple seconds here, guys. Again, you got to wait for the candle to close. It's got like 5 seconds left on it. This is going to be a really close one towards the very end. This is BB3 right here, guys. So the BB3. I mean, I had to wait until the very last second, which is super annoying. I hate having to take entries like that. I don't know if my entry was that great. Let's see. So this right here is the BB3. And just gotta watch it. So I'm hoping the volatility stays pretty decent. It's kind of, I mean, it's moving. But again, I'm gonna have to watch it because I don't know if my entry was exactly 104. Move this up, maybe. I like 120. 103. Actually, no, it's fine on that. I mean, preferably I would have rather have taken obviously, but let's look at the confluences real quick. So the PRB over here is actually for a buy. They're going opposite of each other. Yeah, because there's a rejection there. Space, drop down further. They're going opposite of each other. There's just not really much volatility right here. Price is kind of slow as it's getting closer to the 7 o'clock news. We're about 10 minutes away from the 7 o'clock news. Other than that, let's see if there's any other confluences here for us to look at. There's not really too much. If anything, we'll look for price to push down to the sessions. That's going to be the first target level of movement. And that's going to be right at our TP as well. So the first target is going to be right there at the sessions. And the next target, of course, is going to be down below at the opening price. But there's not really too many confluences here to work with because price is just kind of sitting around this area. And it kind of sucks because the entry is based off news, because the news candle happened at 6:45, like very recently. And market is just kind of reacting to the news. So a lot of this could just be manipulation. And I mean, I'm in the position, so I got to watch it and got to see how it plays through. So this is what kind of sucks when you trade during like heavy news days like this, because there's a lot of uncertainty. So the news for today was kind of mixed. There was positive news and there was negative news and there was positive news, and it was all high impact for the most part. I mean, this was, so the services was negative. The manufacturing was positive. And as you can see over here, I'm hoping you get a red candle here. Because if you get a red candle, I think this will be another double body. Order filled. Oh, fuck, once I got stopped out. All right, so unfortunately got stopped out on the BV3 today. The PRB did hit. So depending on which trade you guys decided to take, the
stop filled.
Yeah, unfortunately stop filled. So we're at a break even for this week. 2 wins, Monday, Tuesday are wins, Wednesday, Thursday were losses. When today's Thursday, right? Yeah. So we're at a break even for this week, unfortunately. But again, like I said, this was kind of tricky because it happened right at news. I was hoping for a buy. I personally would have wanted a buy to happen over here because that's kind of what we were aiming for. It looks like a buy here might come up next. But yeah, the entry came up right at news. So we got kind of caught in between market reaction to news. So this wasn't a smooth move. It wasn't like a move that we were looking for the most part. This right here, there might be another breakout V3 continuation setting up here. Let's see, there's a lower low right, or there's not a lower low, there's a high low right here. So there's another structure here with a double wick rejection. But again, nothing else could have happened at this area right here. Let's see. Jamel is asking, hey, Sean, something's wrong with my account. Every profit it shows that I have actually is negative. I tested it and did a random trade. I earned 50, but it took 200 for me. Yeah, it's probably commissions, Jamel. That's the only thing I can think of. Like if you're just going in for like a second or like less than a second, it's probably going to be commissions for you. All right, so let's see. So for the most part, for my new PA accounts, they're like slightly in the red. For my other PA accounts that are already active, they're at break even. You'll see my profits are like slightly different across the board for the week because some of my accounts, they took the trades on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and some of them just took trades for like one day. All right, so let me just copy this over real quick so that you guys will have it in the stats. Okay. Let's copy this over here as well. Let me turn off my Ninja Trader so I don't have any accidental trades. All right, so here's my Discord. Let me put this in the my accounts. So this is the first time I see my accounts all red like this. All right, so you'll see my profits over here. These are my losses for the day. And then for the week so far, these are supposed to be break even, but because of commissions, they're like a little bit higher. For this over here, these are the accounts that kind of switched over because of the these are my new PAs. So these are the new ones I got on, I think, Tuesday or Monday. So for these over here, they don't have a break even for the week because they only have one trade counted. It doesn't count the other trades. But these over here are basically break even. And these over here are the same with these down here. So they just count one loss because they don't count the trade for Monday. These because I got the payout on that day. So they kind of reset. But for these over here, these are like basically the stats for this week. I'm basically negative 124 per account. So it's not bad to break even week for us so far, which is kind of like what we expect, right? You know, from our initial analysis of profitability, you can't expect to be 100% every single week. We were expecting to have a net win of 1 win a week. So this goes in line with what we were expecting anyways. These are like normal stats for this type of strategy. It's a 1-to-1. It's slightly above 50%, as you guys know. But for the month so far, we're still very high. So for the month so far, the stats for the BB3 are currently 85%, which we're like way above where we should be. The stats for February were 59%, and obviously the stats for January were slightly different. But all of the 1-to-1 strategies here, you can see that the normal win-loss ratio is around 59%. So we're still way above where where it typically would be with regard to the win rate. Yeah, so I'm down 2 trades, which is fine. I can still lose 2 more trades back to back, which is very unlikely. I don't think we've had more than 2 back-to-back losses with the breakout B3. So I think we should be fine. And this shouldn't affect anybody, right? If you're using proper risk, you should be fine. As we've discussed, you know, you have to calculate your risk. You can't be YOLOing your account every single time, praying that you'll reach your goal, right? Yeah, this shouldn't affect you. If you're upset about a loss or about 2 losses, you're over leveraging or you're over risking your account. Because for me, I'm chilling. I already know how this strategy works, and I know I'm going to bounce back from it over the next couple trades. So just keep that in mind, guys. Don't over leverage. Don't take too high of a contract size. Make sure that you calculate it so that you can lose at least 4 trades back to back before having to blow your account. Because it's probably not going to happen. It's never happened before. And odds of it happening now is very unlikely. So other than that, let's see, the PRV hit full TP. The BB3 here did not hit, unfortunately. Looking at the other entries over here, that looks like there might have been another pivot scalp right here. So there's a buy signal here that broke and closed past the pivots. This would be another pivot scalp, momentum scalp. So out of all of the entries for today, looks like we had, so there's 3 entries on this one right here. This was a pivot scalp, momentum scalp, high level momentum scalp, price pushed up, price came back down. This right here is another pivot scalp, momentum scalp. So that's 5 entries right there for full TPs. The PRV here hit full TP. The breakout B3 here at loss. And for the liquidity over here, all the liquidities here got hit for full TPs. So just keep that in mind. BB3 is the only trade that lost today. Everything else pretty much hit, depending on which strategy you guys decided to apply here. But if you guys are just taking one trade, like myself, as long as you have proper risk, you should be fine. You just got to weather the storm and obviously take the trades when they come up next. So let me see if there's anything else over here that I'm missing. So it looks like, yeah, CT said that it was major slippage, he guesses. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming, let me see, I'm looking at my trades for, let me check what did I risk for that. Mine, for the most part, looks fine. I don't think I really had too much slippage on my end. There's some slippage, not very much. It was like, let's see, 10 contracts. I had maybe like $100 slippage on my Ninja and all my copiers. But I think other than that, I didn't really see anything else. So let's see. CT had an issue. Nicholas had an issue too. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else had an issue with this. Let's see, Andrew got this warning over here. It says instruments not subscribed for real-time data have been detected. Yeah, it's weird that you, well, I mean, I'm not getting it because I'm paying, I have my own NinjaTrader license, so I'm paying for the data through NinjaTrader. So I don't know, it might be an Apex problem. Does anybody else have that error that Andrew has? I mean, it looks like it might have been slippage for a lot of you guys because Kenny over here said that his trade didn't even close when it hit stop loss. He had to manually close, and it hit stop loss like 5 times. Yeah, for me personally, I'm following everything on here, guys. So everything that I'm following is on TradingView, and then I'm just entering the trades on Ninja. But my Ninja wouldn't be delayed either because I'm paying for like 3 different datas basically. I'm paying for data through Ninja. I also have Apex's data, and then I also have paid for data here on TradingView. So I have a lot of data sets that I'm paying for the most part. It's kind of dumb, but it's all good. I mean, it's $5. If I didn't pay for the data here on TradingView, I wouldn't be able to show you guys this during the live stream. So. Yeah, but all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. We'll keep looking for some more entries here. Yeah, like I said, the only entry that lost today was the BB3. Everything else pretty much hit. Momentum scalps, pivot scalps. I mean, ideally, we were looking for a buy here. But like I said, for the entry over here, we had to take it because it hit criteria. There's a red candle right there. This was a breakout B3. That's just the entry. There's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that could have been adjusted. Obviously, I would have rather have taken a buy. We've been looking for a buy pretty much all day today, today and yesterday actually. And yeah, unfortunately today it didn't go opposite of what our bias was, which typically would be a good thing because we obviously don't want price to go opposite of it, but price could have went either way. We have another news event right here at 7 o'clock. It's another high impact news event. Let me take this off here, take this off. That's still valid for now. There's a double body right there. Another entry just came up. Thanks, Daniel. Daniel said the momentum pullback scalp just came up. So just market news real quick. All right, so price pushed up right here. We had levels right here as price pushed up. It retraced to this point here. This was the level that was established, and this right here would have been the momentum pullback scalp. So again, if you guys have the indicators or you guys are applying any of the other strategies on your own, there is a bunch of other entries that you guys could be taking here. You don't have to take a breakout V3. You can take anything else. There's like 20 up to 30 strategies that we have that I've used in the past that all still work very well. But for me, I've chosen to stick to the BB3. BB3 is more, I feel like it's more of a strategy that could be easily adaptable. Like you can adapt to different types of markets. And for me personally, I think it's better. I think the BB3 is probably the best strategy for Apex personally, because so if you guys have looked at the news for Apex, if you guys wanted to get a payout, you have to trade for 10 days. And the time between each payout, so the time between the first half of payout, which is the 1st to the 5th of the month, up until the next payout period, which is, I think, the 15th to the 20th, you have to trade 10 days. So with the breakout V3, it requires us to take every single trade that comes up, right? So if we trade every day between the first payout to the second payout, you can get a payout every 2 weeks. So it just works out better that way. I've kind of thought about the idea of opening different prop accounts to like maybe take these other scalps, but I think for my Apex accounts, I'm just gonna leave it at BB3. That's pretty much all I'm gonna keep it at. And then of course I can always get like different prop accounts if I want to trade, these other scalp entries, like say something like from Top Step or something like that. So we'll keep looking for more entries here, but like I said, there's no other entries that are available right now. We had 3 entries here, 2 entries here, 1 entry here for the momentum pullback scalp. PRB, of course, there's no other liquidity up here because we're at the all-time high. And over here in our clean chart, I'll start marking up some structure. So now I got to calculate my next contract size. Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, Nick said, Nicholas said you had insane results last year with those strategies. I hope that you get other prop accounts for those. Yeah, I probably will. Um, it's just hard trading on like multiple platforms and then also having to manage this live session, right? I think that's probably like the biggest problem. I think if I wasn't on this live session, I'd be able to trade a lot more freely. But the problem with me trading like that is that a lot of people try to copy what I'm doing and they end up blowing accounts, right? You guys have seen that before in the past. I'll make like crazy amount of profits just scalping throughout the day. A lot of people try to copy what I'm doing and then they end up blowing their accounts, which is never my goal. I always hope that people like trade, um, that people trade conservatively or they trade responsibly, but it never happens that way. Not everybody has the same trade psychology as me to get in and out of these positions quickly. So I'm looking at the charts right now. There's actually a lot of entries here that could have been taken. Yeah, I'm looking at like these different scalps that I personally would have taken. Um, Obviously. Yeah, that's quite a bit. So yeah, maybe at some point in the future I'll do that. But I think right now I'm going to stick to the BB3 because this is kind of what's helping people with their trade psychology and being able to stay consistent. Yeah, because when I would scalp a lot before, I would make a lot of profit. Like there was a good handful of people who would scalp with me, who'd make like a ton of profit, but then everybody else would just blow their accounts, right? Because not everybody was on the same level. So um, yeah, for the sake of the group, I'm gonna make sure that everybody here is still on point. And here, I'll just update the spreadsheet now as we continue to look for more entries here. So if this candle here closes, guys, this is gonna be a possible entry again for another pivot scalp. The only problem that is that it's gonna be right at this news price here, which is considered a red flag, right? You're not supposed to take entries at the news price. Like this one was okay, because it was away from red flags. This one would have been skipped because it was like in the middle of the red flags. This one would have been okay because it was away from the red flags. And this one again right here is going to be a little tricky because it is at the red flag, which is news price. So as we wait for another entry here, and again, if you guys want to take it, I'll just mark it up for you guys. I'm not taking the trade here. As I said, it is at a red flag, so it'd be considered risky. But nonetheless, this here would be an entry for another pivot scalp and momentum scalp and full TP right there, it looks like. Or almost. Yeah, basically. So this right here would be a pivot scalp. Reason for it being a pivot scalp is that we have a buy signal here that is above the pivots. And then also down below here is the trend meter, which is green, which makes it also a momentum scalp. And there's pretty much 2 entries right there. Nice. So Sadie got it, recovered his losses. Daniel over here caught it as well. He just passed 3 more 150K counts. Nice for Daniel. And there's also a V1 variation right here too. So this is a V1 that Vince took. Double body rejection, pending buy signal. He entered down here. So you guys can see like my strategies. This is why I'm saying it's important that you guys understand my strategies and you guys have my tools and indicators, because you guys you don't have to take the BB3. If you have my indicators, you can take any of these strategies here and you can see all of them are hitting. 3 entries right here, 2 entries right here, 2 entries right here, 1 entry right here, and 2 more entries right here. All for full TPs. You guys could have easily just skipped the BV3 and you guys could have taken 5 entries here times 10 points per entry. that would have been 500 points for the day, or 550 points for the day, 500 pips. So you'd still have made more profits, basically two BB3s there, taking the smaller scalps. So let me go ahead and just update the spreadsheet real quick. So we already have this up, we might as well. All right, 649. Again, this trade was against the trend, which trend and the bias, which was typically where I don't trade. But I thought that it is what it is. Sell 25 BB3. We came up. She was against bias. Came up right after mixed news. All right, so looking over here at the results, guys, I'm just updating it real quick. So currently for the BB3, we are currently at 12 wins and 3 losses, which is, or not 3 losses, yeah, we are actually 12 wins and 3 losses, which is pretty incredible for a one-to-one strategy. This is still very, very good for a one-to-one strategy. Yeah, I mean, it's still pretty strong. So we have 12 wins, 3 losses, total profit of 225 points, total traded 15 trades, total win-loss ratio right now is currently 80% for the BB3. This is only BB3 for the March month. We still have like, I don't know, 9 days left of March. So we still have a lot of days left here to keep trading the BB3. Hopefully the rest are going to be straight wins and we're just going to recoup these losses and go back into a win streak. But again, you know, it's hard to tell because there's going to be days like today where there's a lot of news that happen. I feel like if there wasn't news today, it wouldn't have played out the way it did. But because of the increased kind of spikes in volatility, you know, the news kind of works as a catalyst against us. Because even if we were looking for a certain trade, you know, the wrong trade might come up and we have to take it because that's the strategy. So, all right, other than that, we will keep looking for any opportunities here to come up. But other than that, we will see what else is here to come. It's still kind of early in the session. It's 7:12 right now. The ATR is starting to get slower though. So you can see the ATR is now dropping down to 17. It was at 20 earlier, went down to 19, down to 18, now down to 17. And you can see here it's now down to 16. So the ATR and the volatility is starting to die down now. The catalyst from earlier has already been pretty much washed out. And volatility here is starting to slow down a bit. So if you guys have any questions, you know, feel free to put your questions in the chat. Again, you know, I have to remind you guys, like, don't over leverage your accounts. Just because you got funded doesn't make you a professional trader, bro. Like, I swear, like some people, once you get funded, you start to, like, I've seen people in the group where you got funded using a 10 contract and now you're using like a 10, 12, 20, like you're just increasing your contract size because you think that the unstoppable win streak is just going to keep going, right? You got to be realistic, guys. 80% win rate is still very, very good for a type of strategy like this. So as long as you use proper risk, you have to just keep scaling slowly. You can't just scale right away. So just keep that in mind with you guys here who are still taking higher risk than usual. Because the last thing I want to do is see you guys blow your account, right? We're at 2 losses right now, which is not a big deal. 2 losses right now, which we're still technically at what we would consider we are going to break even for the week. It's just for the trailing drawdown. Like for me personally, the trailing drawdown is fine because I had cushion from like our win streak from before. But for you guys here who don't have a cushion for your trailing drawdown, you have to be smart about it because you can't just increase your contract size to like make back what you lost. You have to just stick to where you're at and make sure it stays within the 4 loss parameter. Right. So right now, I can lose 2 more trades back to back before I get into some trouble. But at the moment, I'm still fine. Because if you look back at the results, so let's just go back over here real quick. I don't think there's ever been a time where we've had more than 2 back-to-back losses, right? Even if you're applying the BB3 and the PRB together, there's never been like times where it's been like back-to-back losses. Like for example, over here, the BB3, there was a win, loss, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, right? So there's going to be a lot of days where they overlap, where you have 2 wins, 1 loss. That's gonna count as a net 1 win. And then for these over here, it's going to be some break even days. Let's see. Daniel said that there was another MPS. So it looks like there was another momentum pullback scalp that just came up right here. We had the buy signal here that pushed up. This candle here retraced down. The entry would have happened at this level. Yeah, you're right, Daniel. And there was another momentum pullback scalp that just came up right here. So again, like I'm saying, guys, if you guys have my indicators, you guys can apply these strategies on your own. Daniel just passed 3 more 150K counts because he's been taking these momentum pullback scalp entries all over the chart. This is one of the favorites for a lot of people here, right? And if you guys like to trade price action, the momentum pullback scalp is like a pure price action type strategy, except you're using my indicators to identify momentum. So we had bullish momentum here, price pushed up. You got back in at the 10th level, price pushed up, pulled down to right there. That's where your entry would have been. We'll TP. So, but yeah, perfect. Let's see, Nicholas is asking, nice, Daniel. So Daniel has 4 funded 150K counts just from today. Nice work, Daniel. So Daniel he's just basically scooping up profits. There's so many entries here that are coming up. So if you guys were taking these entries in conjunction with the breakout V3, you could have eaten loss here and you could have recouped your losses already by now. For me, I'm not going to overtrade. I think that's overtrading. But for some of you guys here who want to do that, you could have recouped your losses already. So this trade over here was only 25 points. If you took the PRV with it, you would have been at break even. And if you took any of these other scalps here, you could have either got closer to break even, would have recouped some of your losses, or would have been in profit by now. Because there's a bunch of entries that came up. Plus, on top of that, liquidity over here as well. So just keep it in mind, guys. I'm keeping I'm still analyzing the charts and I'm still showing you where entries are at. So if there's entries that you guys want to take personally, you have to take them at your own risk. For me personally, I've already eaten up my margin, so I can't keep trading. If I didn't use so much risk on the BB3, then I could keep trading, but I don't want to eat into my trailing drawdown. My trailing drawdown right now is already, it's still fine. It's perfect at like 2,000. So on my main account, my trailing drawdown is at 4,000. I can still lose a lot on that account. For my other accounts over here, they're at 3,000 and then around 2,500. So my trailing drawdown is cool. I can still lose twice before I have to be worried. But I can't take any other trades because if I do, then it's going to eat into my drawdown. So let's see. Question over here from Nicholas. Nicholas is asking, do you take the momentum pullback scalp entry for a buy if there's a V1? Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. There's no criteria for that, Nicholas. I mean, for you personally, like I mentioned, these strategies, you guys will have, I give you guys the foundation of like how to apply them, and it's up to you whether you want to add other things to it. So like you mentioned, Nicholas, you're asking, if there's a V1 or a higher high or a lower high, it's up to you if you want to use that. But for me personally, I don't use that. There's like for the momentum pullback scalp, there's not really many confluences that you need because the price action is already there all on its own. So yeah, there's some strategies that would require some criteria, some that don't. I mean, for me personally, I would skip certain trades, but the baseline of the strategy is just you look for momentum, you look for price to push up, you look for price to retrace back, and then you just enter at the closest price point. Like, for example, like I said earlier, this right here, I would have skipped it, but a lot of people still would have taken this trade here, right? I would have skipped it because of the red flag. But you can see it was a perfect entry. It was like 3 entries in one, and it played pretty perfect. Like this one I would have taken, this one I would have taken, this one I would have taken, this one I wouldn't have taken. I would have skipped this one, and this one I maybe would have taken. Because there's no red flags in the area. Yeah, no problem, Nicholas. I know it's like slightly different for people, right? Some people like to be conservative, some people don't. For me, I just don't. I don't like taking risky trades because I don't really like losing. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, exactly. Maddie said, I remember when you used to skip the ones with the V1s in the opposite direction, but it would still hit. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, if you have like a strong bias, it'll probably hit. Like if you have other confluences that go in your direction, then I think it would still play out more so than not because all these strategies do have a high win rate. It's just can you incorporate other things to it? You can increase in win rate or you can decrease it. Yeah, exactly. Next, yeah, same here. His lowest account is around 2,500, lowest trailing drawdown. Yeah, same here, Nick. That's pretty much where my drawdown is for all my new accounts. And that's why I'm just chilling. It's not really, there's no stress there, right? Because you already know that you have that cushion there just in case. Let's see. Forlin is asking, after you're funded, does your trailing stop still follow you if you're above the required drawdown? No. So that's why I have more drawdown available for me, Forlin. So on my main funded accounts, I had so much profit from like the win streak that we had over the past couple of weeks that my drawdown is super high. So typically your drawdown will be capped at 5,000. My drawdown was like at 8,000 because I was at like 159,000 in profit. So, or 160,000 in profit. So the drawdown was like, it was another 4,000 on top of the five that was already there. Yeah. So it's cool. Let's see. Tom is asking just to double check I have it set up correctly. What is the name of the column in Tradeovate to check your drawdown limit? It's called distance to drawdown, DIST drawdown. And then I'll show you where you're at. So whatever number that is there is going to show you what your distance is to drawdown. Everybody's distance to drawdown should be it should you should be able to take two more trades as long as you're using proper risk with it. Kenny said, so your trailing drawdown stops once the trail goes 100 above your initial account size. Yeah, pretty much. So once you go 100 past profit, or like you cover the drawdown plus profit, then your drawdown follows. So you'll have drawdown on top of drawdown, and then your cap just goes higher and higher. You could basically have unlimited drawdown at that point. Yeah, I've seen a guy. Actually, I met a guy in the on the Apex Discord. That dude has like 100K in drawdown, which is crazy. He just never withdraws. He's had his account forever and he just never withdraws and he has like unlimited drawdown basically. And then he just withdraws when he wants to. Which I mean that takes a lot of self-control, in my opinion. That's a lot of self-control because I don't think I'd be able to do that. And I don't think I would do that either. I think I would keep my accounts at like maybe I would keep my accounts at like maybe here, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, exactly. I would withdraw and put the money somewhere else. Um, yeah, he sent me his thing. But this guy also requested like a crazy payout too. So his drawdown was nuts. And this is just to show you guys that like, you can't just you could leave your profits in there and then just let it grow over time. Not very close in there. Okay, look. Okay, so this is the guy I was telling you about. So you guys can see his account, his his distance to, well, you can see right here, he has like 50K in the account, right? each account he has here, he's like 50K away from his drawdown. So he can basically take as many losses as he wants, and he'll just basically never blow his account because his drawdown is super crazy high. He had like 100, I think these are 100K accounts. So, or these were 50K accounts and he just grew them up like super high. So if you guys don't touch your profits and you don't withdraw, you can just have a crazy distance to draw down. And the thing with this guy is that he's been part of Apex for a long time. I don't know if I had a screenshot, but he requested like 900,000 payout this like last month. So, you know, the people who make a lot of money in Apex, they all kind of know each other. Because like we have like special roles within the group. Like if you're making hella money on Apex and you're just very consistent, you're making a lot of profit. All the people who kind of make a lot of money in Apex, they're all kind of like in a special club. Like I'm in the special club with them. They put me in the special club last week. So I can kind of see who's getting like the big payouts and I can see like where their drawdown is sitting and stuff like that. So I mean it's cool because I kind of have an inside look to see what everybody's doing and then making sure that they're also getting paid out. But all right, guys, so if there's any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Again, like I said, the volatility here is starting to die down. The ATR is now below 15. I'm not really expecting too much to happen from here until 8 o'clock because it seems like the movement here is pretty much done for the most part. Like I said earlier, the breakout V3, we preferably would have rather have taken a buy here, but you can see that no buy really came up. There's a buy signal, no green candle, buy signal, no green candle. This was the only opportunity that came up earlier is a sell signal with a red candle. I mean, even the other sell signals here, there is no follow-up, right? So there was actually no breakout V3 continuations that came up at all. There is a buy signal, no green candle, red signal, no red candle, buy signal, no green candle, another red signal over here, and no red candle after it. So, I mean, it is what it is. You just got to roll with the blows and weather the storm until the wind streak picks back up. Hopefully it picks back up tomorrow. And then hopefully for the rest of the month of March, we will be able to recoup the losses from today and yesterday and bounce back. I mean, but if you look at the results from March so far, I mean, it's kind of balanced out. It's like if we didn't take two back-to-back losses right here, if this loss for today happened like somewhere in between the month, it's like taking maybe like one loss every week. So it's unfortunate that it's back to back, but it's I mean it's all part of the game. So we have a buy signal here. We have a pending candle. If this candle here closes green, this could be a breakout V3 continuation. Otherwise, just another back and forth. Let's see. All right, so let's take a look at the team profit so far. So team profits for the day, we have Shannon over here with a total profit of 757 for the day. Nice work, Shannon. We have Alexander over here. He also made some profit today, total profit of 2,330. Nice work, Alex and Shannon. We have Nick over here, small loss, 400. We have Kaner over here. He has a mixed account. He has some losses and some wins over here. We have Nick over here. He's down for the day. It's all good. Same with me. Madhu lost for the day. Andreas lost for the day. We have Ross over here. He made 1,573 per account. He has 20 accounts here, so well over 20,000 for the day. We have Josh over here. Josh locked in 1,200 on his first account and small losses over here on his other accounts for the week. So it's all good. And I think that's it for right now. So let's see if there's any other questions here. Yeah, I don't really see anything else here. So what I've been doing too, guys, is I've been looking at different prop firms. I'm looking at different prop firms that allow NinjaTrader so I can just have my copier on there. There's a couple that I found. So there's like Funded Next or My Funded Futures, which I think is okay, but they're just kind of expensive with their evals. There's this other one called Blue Sky Pro. And I forget the other ones. I'll make a list of them later once I figured out which one I want to try out. And I'll let you guys know so that you guys can try them out as well. But a lot of them don't allow copiers, which kind of sucks. I'm just gonna do it anyways, even though they don't allow it. I'm gonna try to sneak by. All right, we have the news candle right here. There was a breakout V3 continuation, but it was right before news. So because it was so close to news, I personally would have skipped it. News is positive, so we're getting some manipulation right here before price likely makes its way back up. So the news for right there, I think it was just gas stock change. It wasn't anything crazy. Yeah, gas stock change, which was positive right here at 7:30. Let's see. Tom said I might be wrong, but for me, it would sound ideal to have the account sitting at around 160K and then withdraw everything else to play safe. Yeah, you could. For me, I think what I would do personally is I would build my account to the point where I have enough drawdown to withstand four back-to-back losses at max contract size. Because the thing is, there's kind of no point in having all those funds in your account if you're already capped out at contract size, right? So like, for example, the breakout V3, when I get to 159,000, I'm pretty much capped out because I can't go higher than 17 contracts with my Apex 150K account. So I think what I'm going to do is I will grow my accounts. I'll do the max withdrawals for the first 3 months. And then when that happens, I'm just going to start a 300K account, add that to my copier. And then once that's funded, I'll swap them out. Then I'll do a full withdrawal on maybe the biggest account. And then I'll just swap them out with a 300K account. That's my goal. So just a heads up, like I've done the math and I've done the calculations to see what makes the most sense, especially with like leaving money in your account. Because I'm also copying it over to my personal account as well. All right, the volatility here is kind of like right down the middle. It's back to 16. We're getting some picked up volatility here due to the news event that just happened right here at 7:30. Otherwise, the volatility is still pretty much, for the most part, kind of flat. So we got some more profits over here from Surin. Let me add these to the Discord real quick. So we got Surin over here, total profit of 1,198 per account. He has 5 accounts here on Apex, so well over 5,000 for the day for Surin. We have Surin's other account over here, total profit of 1,853 plus 350, so well over 2,000 on that account. And on his FTMO accounts, he is currently up 59. Nice work, Surin. Those Surin's profits so far. Profits for the day. All right, so other than that, let's see if there's anything else here for us to take. Guys, if there's any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat. The volatility here is starting to get a little low. So if we don't see anything happen here, because you can see price starting to consolidate a bit. If it starts to just consolidate for a while, then we'll probably just wrap it up for the day as we get closer to 8 o'clock. So closer to like 7:40, which is in 6 minutes. If nothing really happens here, I'll probably just wrap it up for the day. There's not really much for us to look at here as price continues to consolidate and the volatility starts to die down as we get closer to 8 o'clock. So here's a clean chart. I'm gonna go to markup structure right here so that you can see. And this is kind of where price is bouncing from. So we got the range over here as price climbs up and comes back down. It's just a tricky market today. We're at an all-time high. Also on top of that, we have this high impact inflation news. Let me check the news calendar for tomorrow. So tomorrow is pretty much free. There's not much news. Hopefully the market moves smoother and we'll be able to get into those breakout V3s tomorrow. So there's no news during our live session. Hopefully it's not going to mess the price again like it did today. Yeah, because it looks like, so the news event happened right here at 6:45. We just got caught in a bad, so let me just show you guys real quick. So news happened right here at 6:45. The news was mixed. It was bullish and negative. And then the big push right here, this is kind of what I was worried about. I didn't want the movement to happen based off the news, and that's exactly what happened here. The sell signal came up, and I was hoping that this candle here wouldn't close red, so that there wouldn't be an entry, and we would just keep waiting for the next setup. But I mean, regardless of the fact, it looks like, yeah, I mean, it still would have went sideways. Otherwise, this probably would have been the entry right here for the buy. It looks like either way, the breakout V3 would have lost today, right? So say, for example, this candle over here didn't close with, and again, there's another news event that happened here at 7:30. So actually, it's the same thing. So we had the news over here, which provided mixed news. As you guys can see, news is negative, news is positive. It kind of went sideways for a bit. We got caught in the opposite correction up to the upside. And then same with this one over here. There was news at 7:30. So this would have been the breakout V3, whether it be continuation or regular. And it still would have came down immediately on the news candle right here. Not really much there to work with. I'll take that off because there's no entry there. But yeah, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to hop in the chat. Otherwise, looks like we'll be wrapping this up pretty soon. Oh yeah, I saw this from earlier. So I'll take a look at this later, Josh. Once we're done with the live. Let me see if there's anything else here for us to look at. Let's go to the main chart. All right, so one entry that could be coming up here soon would be a pivot scalp again, like we've had earlier. So if you have a buy signal here that closes above the pivots, that'd be a pivot scalp. Again, the only problem here is that price will be at a red flag, which is this pink line. And that's gonna be an area for you to look out for. But I mean, otherwise, everything else is pretty much hit for today. So I mean, today overall, if you just think about the other strategies, was actually a really good day. So for today, we had two liquidity levels that got hit, or three actually. Three liquidity levels here that got hit for full TP, 1, 2, 3. And on top of that, we had the PRB over here that hit for full TP right here as well. And then we had a bunch of smaller scalps here from the main strategies that hit as well. Pivot scalp, momentum scalp, high-low momentum scalp, pivot scalp, momentum scalp. This over here was a momentum pullback scalp. This right here was a V1 variation. This right here was a pivot scalp, momentum scalp. This right here was a momentum pullback scalp, MPS. And that's pretty much it. But there was a lot of entries that came up today. So if you guys are wondering like how certain people in the group made profit for the day while others lost, the ones who lost just took the breakout V3 with me. And the ones over here who made profit, they pretty much applied multiple strategies along the way. They applied breakout V3, or sorry, not breakout V3, momentum scalp, pivot scalp, high-low momentum scalp, MPS, V1 variation, and a couple other entries here as well. Let me check the calendar for today. There's nothing else for today. It looks like we have the 4-week bill auction and the 8-week bill auction at 8:30. At 9 o'clock, we have mortgage rates. And that's pretty much it. Let's see, Rashida said Powell speaking at 9. Let me check the other calendar real quick. I don't see it on my calendar for today. I see Fed Bar speaking at 9 o'clock. I don't see, oh, you're right. Okay, so I see it over here. Yeah, thanks, Rashida. So tomorrow we have, it's weird. It doesn't show on here, but it does show on Forex Factory. Yeah, okay. So yeah, Powell speaking at 6 a.m. tomorrow. So pre-market, it's gonna be. We'll see how that affects the market because he's gonna be speaking like right before we go live, or like at the beginning of our live session. He's just speaking. I don't think it's not testimony. He's just going to be giving his opening remarks at the Fed Listens event. So I don't think it's going to be super bad. He's just going to be he's going to be basically reiterating what was released this week with regard to the CPI, the PMI news, and stuff like that, just inflation news. So we'll keep that in mind. But all right, guys, as you guys can see, the market here is starting to get really slow. There's nothing really happening here. Let me go to the clean chart. Here's a better image for you guys so that you guys have an idea of what I mean by that. There's nothing that's really going on here. So if you guys don't have to trade, which I'm sure majority of you guys don't, it's probably best to just sit out. The ATR is pretty low. It's going between 14 and 15. And you can see that there's no movement here as price continues to go back and forth within this range consolidation. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up for the day. There's no reason to just hang out and revenge trade, right? I think that's the worst part. When you guys hang out for too long, it kind of gives you FOMO and you want to revenge trade or overtrade. And it's all bad. It's never been a good thing for that there. Let's see. Sam is asking if there's a copier for Apex on TradingView. Not that I know of. I mean, if you set up Replicanto, I've seen people who set up the same copier that I use, but they execute their trades on TradingView, and it works. So that's like a workaround for it, but you would still need to have NinjaTrader with Replicanto set up. You just have to have it open. So you have it open, but then you can still execute trades on TradingView off the main account. That's kind of what you're looking for. I haven't done it myself, so I can't say for sure, but I know there's other people in the group who are doing it and it's worked for them. So I think it's possible. All right, guys, ready to wrap up this day. It's about 18 minutes until 8 o'clock. Volatility is very low. So guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we'll be back here tomorrow as we wrap the trading week. Hopefully tomorrow we can bounce back from today and yesterday's loss, which is what I'm assuming. But we'll see. There's no way to really predict what's going to happen tomorrow. But hopefully it plays out as we expect and we can bounce back from this and go back into our win streak. So, all right, guys, if there's any